This is going to be a massive week for FPL. Because of the FA Cup games will be going ahead this midweek, we'll be finding out a lot of information before the Game Week 27 deadline. So first of all, we'll have the Game Week 29 fixtures confirmed, whether they're going to be blanks or go ahead. There also is going to be the FA Cup quarter-final draw, which obviously will determine whether teams will be playing or blanking in Game Week 34. We'll get a rough idea on whether they get easy fixtures in that draw or not. Also, we'll probably get a little bit of an inkling on whether teams will be doubling in Game Week 37 too. So this is a massive week for FPL with a lot of information coming. I guess one of the biggest things to take out of this game week is Chelsea versus Leeds is a massive game in terms of FA Cup. So if Chelsea do lose that game, their fixture against Arsenal again in Game Week 29 will be going ahead. So if Chelsea lose, get knocked out of the cup, their fixture against Arsenal will be going ahead. So that is massive news for FPL. Also, if Newcastle do get beat by Blackburn, so Blackburn are at home in that game, their fixture with Crystal Palace will be going ahead in Game Week 29. Also, if Man United lose to Nottingham Forest, their fixture against Sheffield United will be going ahead in Game Week 29. Other than that, it's looking a bit tough. Maybe two teams are going to need to lose for their fixtures to go ahead. But Luton and Nottingham Forest play Man United and Man City in the FA Cup, so it's more than likely they're going to lose, and that fixture will be going ahead if they both do lose. Other than that, there's not, I guess, other ones that could go ahead. Maybe Liverpool if they do end up losing, which I don't think they will. They're playing Southampton. They're at home. Potentially, though, with the cup, they've just won the cup. They might be celebrating too hard, or might rotate a few players. So there is always a chance. But with Liverpool being at Anfield, I can't really see that. Their fixtures Everton away in Game Week 29, which isn't an easy fixture. Everton are a half solid side. Sean Dyche has got them being very solid recently, and it is a derby as well. So I wouldn't be saying that is a really good fixture for them. So yeah, a lot of information we will get in this game week. So keep an eye out for that. I'll try and retweet as much as possible. So go follow me on there. And let's get on to the rest of the video where I talk about my captaincies, the best captaincy choices, best clean sheet probability, and players that are on yellow cards that you need to be wary of when buying. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
Good day, mate. So before we do get on to the captaincy video, I just wanted to say, please make sure you do like the video. It's completely free. It does help me out. Let's try and get to 50 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It does help me out. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the season. I think we can do it, but I can't do it without you subscribing. So if you just hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell too, it really does help me out, and you'll be getting loads of FPL content leading up to the double game weeks, so on. So let's get into the captaincy. So Haaland is probably, I guess, the obvious choice. He plays at home. He plays Manchester United, where he scored a hat trick in the same fixture last season. He scored 2 at Old Trafford this season, and for me, I can see why people are wanting to put their captaincy on Haaland. He has been a bit, I guess, shaky since he's come back from injury. However, he's still got a goal. He's got 2 goals against Everton as well, and it says ended up with 3 goals, 2 assists in 5 games after being back, which again is very good. But obviously, Erling Haaland for 14.4 million he is now. We are expecting much more from him. Albeit he's still the top scorer in the league, 17 goals, 7 assists. He's only played 20 games, so that's nearly a goal every game. He's kind of expected goals involvement per 90 is 1.09, so he's going to get you assist or goal every 90 minutes, pretty much guaranteed. And for me, I can definitely see why people are looking to put the captaincy armband on Haaland. Obviously, Man United, it is a derby game. Anything can happen in a derby game, which is maybe why some people could be a bit hesitant. But we've been hesitant in the past, and Haaland's just absolutely tore Man United to shreds. And to be honest, I can't see there being anything different with this game week. I know Martinez is injured as well, so he's got a knee injury. Luke Shaw as well had a bit of an injury, probably rules him out for the rest of the season now. Hopefully, he is back for the Euros. Wan-Bissaka has got a leg injury. Malacia has an injury as well, so they are starting to go down to their bare bones. We thought they'd be a bit back with Martinez coming back for a bit, and Shaw obviously being back and getting injured most recently. But yeah, I'm not too confident on Man United at the moment. They got absolutely torn apart by Fulham, to be honest with you. Fulham should have won that game 4-5-1. They did go on a good run, Man United, so you could argue that maybe they were in a bit better form, but they conceded 2 to Spurs, 3 to Wolves, conceded to Luton as well. So yeah, they do concede goals. I completely understand why people would be hesitant. It is a derby game. Man United kind of always show up in these games where you think they're going to lose, but I think Man City is a bit different. I think Man City is a bit too strong for them. You could also argue that Man City haven't been free scoring over the last 3 games. They've only scored a goal a game, which again for Manchester City is not that good, but still, I do expect them to turn it up in this game. It's a derby. It's going to be at home. Pep's not going to want them to not put on a show. So for me, I think Haaland is a very, very good captaincy option. Saka is also in with a shout, so very good fixture for him. Sheffield United away, and I actually think Sheffield United are worse at home than they are away from home. I did mention this when people were bringing in Neto and Hwang for game week 26, that Sheffield United are actually not that bad away from home. They're much better than they are at home. So potentially this could be a good fixture for Bukayo Saka. In his last 5 game weeks, he's got 10 points, 9 points, 15 points, 15 points, 10 points, which is ridiculous. He's on 13 goals, 8 assists. Yeah, he's just on fire at the minute, and he's obviously on pens as well. And I can see why a lot of people did captain him in game week 26 and will captain him in game week 27. For me, I do think he is a very good option. It just worries me that he did give away penalties earlier on this season. And I know he hasn't done it since, but I just don't want my captain to be doing that. And I completely understand why people will be going from Sheffield United. Have been terrible all season, really. I know they didn't concede that many in their last game to Wolves. They only conceded 1, but before that, it's been pretty bad for them. And to be honest, they're going to be announced relegated very, very soon. So, albeit they didn't get battered by Wolves, they still lost 1-0. They lost 5-0 to Brighton, which was at home. Like I said, at home, I feel like they're much worse. Away from home, they beat Luton 3-1. At home, they beat Aston Villa. They lost Aston Villa 5-0. They drew with West Ham 2-2 at home. Lost to Luton 3-2 at home. So they're a much worse team at home, to be honest. So I actually don't think Saka is a bad captaincy option, and I think he's actually a pretty good captaincy option. Also, to bear in mind, with a midfielder, you get an extra point for a goal, extra point for a clean sheet, which Arsenal are very good defensively as well. So that does make a bit of a difference over someone like Haaland. Also, Son, I think, is a very, very good captaincy option. He has a very good record against Crystal Palace. I feel like every time he plays them, he scores. He scored in Spurs' first game at the new stadium against Crystal Palace. He scored late on a few years ago as well. Yeah, he's just got a very good record against Crystal Palace. The only thing for me with Son is the fact that he might be playing on the left, which for me, I actually think it's not his best position. I know it's hard to, I guess, put him up front with how well Richarlison has been playing recently, but I think to get the best out of Son, he has to be playing up front now. I think he's no longer can be classed as a left winger. Maybe that's being a bit too harsh, but I do feel like I do know my team very, very well. And Spurs fans might disagree with me, so let me know what you think in the comment section below. But I think Son is much more effective playing through the middle rather than out on the left, especially when teams play a low block. However, Crystal Palace might not actually do that. Their new manager is pretty attacking. So this might actually suit Spurs, and Son can kind of counter from the wing and get in behind. But 12 goals, 6 assists this season, 21 starts. Since he's been back from the Asia Cup, he's only managed to get an assist, but he's only started 1 and came off the bench for 1 game. So not much to go by. I do like Son as an option, but he's, I guess, let me down a lot of the times over, I guess, the last few well, over the season, really. Every time he's had a good fixture, I've captained him and he hasn't done well. This time might be different because of that Crystal Palace record, but I do prefer Saka and Haaland at the minute. Ollie Watkins should definitely be in with a shout. He's on fire, the geezer. Honestly, I've said this in many videos, but I never really rated him that much as a striker. I thought he was a very good player, maybe better off on the wing. Wasn't really clinical enough, but yeah, for me, he has had an incredible season. 14 goals, 15 assists. He's going to end up beating Thierry Henry's record. I think it is 20 goals, 20 assists. And yeah, he just keeps delivering, and he's not even on pens. Imagine if he was on pens, there would be it'd be up to about 20 goals and 15 assists. So for me, Watkins is definitely a good shout, but Luton at home, I think, are a half okay side. I can't see them conceding loads to Aston Villa. And also, like I said, Watkins is not on penalties. For me, I want my captain to be on penalties. I know it's not the be on end all, and how many penalties do the teams get a season, maybe 4 or 5, but for me, that's enough to warrant not putting the captaincy armband on Watkins. To summarise, I think Haaland and Saka are the best captaincy options. I think if you wanted to go boring, Haaland's the one. We'll probably get a goal, but Saka could end up getting a haul if he gets a goal and assist, and Arsenal keep scoring and scoring and scoring like they have been in the Premier League for the last few game weeks. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, who you're going to go with. For me, I'd probably just go with Haaland. So next up, I did want to talk about clean sheet. So Arsenal's first on the list. They are the best defensive team in the league, and they're actually even better away from home. In general, goals conceded per 90 is 0.88, and then the expected goals conceded is 0.90. So they're about where they should be in terms of if you look at data and you look at how reliable data is. Liverpool is second on that list with goals conceded 0.96 per 90 and expected 1.22. So they're actually could be seen to have been a bit lucky to not concede more goals this season. And to be honest, I think that maybe shows in some of their play, and especially with Trent out now, Kelleher in goal rather than Alisson, albeit Kelleher was actually pretty good in the cup final. I'm not too confident on Liverpool. Man City are actually next in the list with 1 goal conceded per 90. And they're expected to concede 0.94. So they're actually doing, I guess, a bit worse as well, but not as bad as Liverpool in terms of expected goals or not. And Tottenham are on this list for me as a team that you should be looking at for a clean sheet, but I just wouldn't trust Spurs' defence to keep any clean sheet. Also, going back to Arsenal, they do play Sheffield United away from home, and Arsenal are better defensively away from home. They've kept more clean sheets away from home, and Sheffield United are worse at home than they are away from home. So they got beat 5-0. The last 2 home games, they got beat 5-0 by Brighton, and they got beat 5-0 by Villa. So they conceded 10 in the last 2 away games. I know I'm not talking about the attack now, but for me, Sheffield United at home are shocking. So I can definitely see Arsenal clean sheet. If you got a double up, definitely play them both. Like I said, Liverpool. Normally, I'd trust Liverpool to keep a clean sheet, but I'm a bit worried with the fixture pile up, with the fact they're missing Trent and Alisson. Maybe Robertson could get a rest in one of these games as well. So for me, I do really like, and then if you own Bradley or your own Van Dijk, then I would definitely play them. But I just think Forest have a bit more attacking wise, and I think Liverpool may start getting a bit fatigued after playing so many games recently. Spurs, like I said, is a tough one. I don't fancy them to keep a clean sheet against anyone, but if you told me that they're playing Crystal Palace at home at the start of the season, I'd probably fancy them to keep a clean sheet no matter what they were like. So if you do have Porro, Doggy, then I would play him. I think Doggy will be back almost definitely. Porro, I'm not too sure. But really, you want them for their attack and return. So I don't think you're going to be stressing if they don't keep a clean sheet anyway. But I would be playing both of them if you do have either of them. Man City, like I said, it is a derby, but they literally smash Man United near enough every game. I know Man City's defence has been up and down this season, but recently they have started to keep a few clean sheets with a 1-0 win against Brentford. They also beat Bournemouth 1-0 as well. So potentially they could be tightening up the defence and in turn tightening up the forward line by not scoring as many goals. However, if you told me 2-3 weeks ago do you think City will keep a clean sheet in this game? I'd probably say no, because of the fact that Højlund was on fire. Their front three were playing very, very well. Garnacho was playing well. Rashford was playing well. But to be honest, after seeing that Fulham game where Fulham tore Man United to shreds, I can just see this being a 3-0 to Man City. And we've seen them in the past. We've seen them this season go to Old Trafford, win 3-0, not concede a goal. And I can see this being another one of them games where it's 2-0, 3-0 City. And for that reason, I do think City are very good defensively and very good value for a clean sheet this game week. If I had to rank them, I'd probably go Arsenal first, City second, Liverpool third, and Spurs fourth. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below of who's most likely to keep a clean sheet this game week. So there's been a lot of talks about yellow cards this week, and I just wanted to address a few maybe hot topics and a bit of advice on players that you might own that do have quite a few yellow cards. So if players do get to 10 yellow cards, they will receive a 2-game ban. So a lot of people have been talking about this. Maybe that puts them off buying a few players that are potentially on 9 or 8 yellow cards. So earlier on in the season, this was 5 yellow cards, and they did miss 1 game. But after game week 19, this has now gone up to 10 yellow cards. And if they reach 10 yellow cards, they miss 2 games. Bruno Guimaraes is on 9, so 1 more and he will miss a game. Not really a massive FPL option, I'd say. I know Az from FPL Black Box absolutely loves him, has done him wonders in the past, but for me, I don't see him being a massive FPL option this year. Also, thing to take into consideration is the effect he has on Newcastle. I think he's crucial for Newcastle, and I think he's a massive player for them. So potentially him missing a game, or we're missing 2 games, could be massive for your Newcastle assets. Nicholas Jackson next on the list, 9 yellow cards. So again, probably one that's not in our teams currently, but definitely has been in the past and potentially will be in the future. If Chelsea do get knocked out of the FA Cup, they will have a fixture in game week 29. It is against Arsenal, but it still is a fixture, and maybe people might be looking to bring in Nicholas Jackson. So this is definitely something to take into consideration. He's just 1 yellow card away from missing 2 games. So if he does get that in game weeks 27 or 28, he'll end up missing 29, which is why you'd want him for if obviously Chelsea did get knocked out of the FA Cup. But I think there are much better striker options out there at the moment. So probably not a massive worry for a lot of people. Bruno Fernandes on 8 yellow cards. I know one of the big content creators did bring in Fernandes this game week, so this is for him. Just to let you know that he is 2 yellow cards away from missing 2 games. I'm sure a lot of people that did bring in Fernandes will probably be taking him out this week for someone like Heung-min Son. But if you are keeping him and he does get a yellow card in 27 and potentially 28, then he potentially could miss a blank in 29 and then miss 2 games as well in 30, 31. So it is definitely something to keep in mind on and keep an eye on. Anthony Gordon, a very popular player actually. So if you do own Gordon, I'm not too sure how well he's done recently. He's been, I guess, in and out as Newcastle's form has been very bad. But if you do own Gordon and he probably picks up another yellow card, then maybe it's time for you to replace him, as it does look like he will be blanking in 29. Darwin Núñez is probably a big player as well to talk about. He's on 8. He was injured technically, but I saw him jumping around at the Carabao Cup final, so I'm not too sure how injured he is. Again, owners that have kept him through his little injury spell for the double game week are hoping that he does play in game week 27. If he does play, get a yellow, then he plays in 28, gets a yellow, and you are free hitting in game week 29. Just remember, he will miss them 2 games in game week 30 and 31. So game week 29 won't count as a game that he's missed because Liverpool don't have a game in that game week. So that is definitely something to take into consideration. Also, Senesi is probably the main player that people are a bit worried about. I do own Senesi and I'm not too stressed. He has to get a yellow card in 27 and the first game of 28 for it to be any problem. Say if he does do that, then he will miss the second game of game week 28 and end up being a single game week rather than a double game week for Bournemouth. So that is horrible, to be honest. A player that you might have bought him for this game week, you might have held a long time for this game week, and for him to have a double game week and that be taken away by suspension is horrible. So hopefully he does end up keeping clean and not getting a yellow card in game week 27. And then that way he can get a yellow in 28 and then get another one in 28. And then he'll only miss 29 and 30. So I just need him to play both games in 28, and for me, that is the priority. But yeah, let me know if there are any players on this list that you own and you're a bit worried about in terms of yellow card. That is it for this video. Please make sure you do smash a like. Let's get to 50 likes for this video. I know we can do it. I just need your help by clicking the like button. Also, trying to get to 2K before the end of the season in terms of subs. Again, I really do appreciate it if you just hit that subscribe button if you are watching, especially if you're watching to this time in the video. It's towards the end of the video, and I'm sure you enjoy the content if you have got this far. So please do subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's try and get to 2K before the end of the season. And I can't do that without you subscribing. So I really do appreciate that. You'll be getting loads of good FPL content, loads of good double game week content to help you win your mini leagues and climb the ranks. Anyway, good luck for the game week, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.